or a link between them. You got to come up with something. So this side skill of writing, that's where that's where I find the most amount of use for it is when I'm contributing towards the dialogues in certain scenes. I joke with my directors that I want a dialogue writer credit,
Yeah.
but really I've been very fortunate to work with people who are open to that kind of collaboration. The writers, the directors, they are always inviting this kind of input, and it goes a long way. It really makes the scene feel complete.
Hmm. So, talking about your skills as a copywriter, helping the directors with some added dialogues, your acting, your rap. There's one more talent of yours which overshadows all these talents. And before you say no, I've done a lot of research, so you can't even deny. And that ability of yours is to sleep. Before you answer this, there were many ways how people have tried to help you. One, your sister's getting chocolates to bribe you to get up in the morning. One, a very controversial one was you're doing a movie called Gunde, and your co-star and friend and people from the team have said that there was a special person with Ranveer to stop him from going to the van to take a nap because you never know when he's going to come back. So all these allegations that are on you, please explain.
Skip, I have to admit, my sleeping habits are not the best in the world. I'm not very proud of them. My wife, my beautiful wife, my very helpful wife, is trying to help me in this process of sorting out my sleeping habits and getting some sort of streamlining and discipline into it. But my sleeping habits are terrible. I'll tell you why, Captain. Because I am a creature of the night. I am a nocturnal creature. I have this great connection with the night time. I don't know what it is about the night that I find very attractive, when the world is sleeping and there is थोड़ी shanti hai. You really have you have time and space and quietude to kind of be with yourself and with your thoughts. So I enjoy being awake at night, but that only means that I sleep very late, and that's where the domino effect starts. You sleep late, then you wake up late, then you're trying to take naps during the day to sustain your energy. So it's only because I love the night so much. And in films often we have night shoots. 2 बजे के बाद सबकी बत्ती बुझ जाती है. मैं 6-7 बजे सुबह तक मैं फुल पावर चल रहा हूँ, और मैं सेट पे सबकी फिरकी भी लेता हूँ. कोई होता है ना जो 3-3:30 बजे वो जिसकी जो झपकी मार रहा होता है, ए सुस्ती मत फैलाओ इधर, चलो. So I'm really good with night shoots, and I keep asking my co-actors, "You good with night shoots?" I love night shoots. So yeah, it's because I'm a creature of the night that early mornings don't really agree with me.
So bribe from sisters has been transferred to bribe from wife, or wife doesn't need the chocolates. She has some other ways to get you up.
Wife doesn't. Sister has extra affection for me, so she'll try the bribe route. My wife will be there with a balan in the morning trying to.
And with a great forehand. So don't underestimate that. She has a great forehand also. So yeah.
Yeah, and but she's not insensitive like that. I've told her, baby, in the morning, I'm very vulnerable, and I'm very sensitive. So थोड़ा हल्का हाथ रख के उठाना मुझे. She's very kind that way.
Okay, so that leads me to the fourth question, and this is an acting question. And before I ask you, I want to apologize because I don't know much about acting. So if I do ask something which is stupid, just pardon me. Okay? So the movies that I've watched yours, the last 4 ones, Ram Leela, Padmavat, Gully Boy, and which is the fourth one that I watched? Again, Sanjay Leela Bhansali one. So all these 4 movies, Bajirao Mastani. All these 4 movies, what I see is you're so passionate and deep into the role. Okay, and I also done the research where I've known about stuff, how you go about a role. And I know for a fact it's very passionate, very deep, a lot of hard work. Does that also mean that if something doesn't go your way or people don't like it, the sadness and sorrow is twice. Because you know why I'm asking this, because your profession, you work for months and months, and it all goes to one Friday.
Mm.
It's not very fair, but so much
Yeah.
of hard work put by so many people, it goes to one Friday. So are you somebody who broods a lot after something if it doesn't go away, or you just like, you know what, I did it and I move on? What kind of
Mhm.
person are you?
That's a great question, Skipper. I I I I had to hit the ground running when I started working in show business, in the sense that I didn't realize um, how the thing works. जैसे कि आपने बहुत rightly कहा, Friday to Friday हमारी किस्मत बदलती रहती है. Like you
Hmm,
said, you work for many months, and then on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the fate of all that effort that so many people, so many good people with good intentions have put towards it, it suddenly didn't click or didn't work with the audience, you know.
hmm,
I used to not know how to deal with it effectively in my initial years, but over a period of time I evolved as a person. I got a little bit mature, if I may say so myself, in dealing with these things. And after a point I realized the greatest gift is is the process, is to
hmm,
actually be on the film set acting.
hmm,
And I had this realization, um, and around the same time it was articulated for me by a speaker in a motivational speaker in an audio book. क्या हुआ था,
hmm,
2015 I think, 14
hmm,
15, I had a very serious injury on Bajirao Mastani, and I was really down in the dumps, Skip. Like, it really had
hmm.
a devastating effect on me, you know.
Physical injury.
I had torn the labrum in my right shoulder, and we had all the action yet to shoot, and it was a very very big film for me at the time, a defining film for me at the time.
Hmm,
And I was really crushed because I had trained very hard for the sword fighting, and before anything could be shot, I'd, you know, done this to my shoulder, unfortunately.
hmm,
So I started listening to these audiobooks of this motivational speaker who articulated it for me,
hmm,
and it said a very beautiful thing: the process is the prize, you know.
hmm,
um, it and if you realize that, if you are not, if you don't base your happiness, your joy, your fulfillment on the result, you got to
hmm,
shift that focus from the result and being result oriented
hmm,
to the process, and realize that the the real reward, the real prize, and the real joy is the process itself. Just
hmm,
being an actor, doing what I love to do for a living, being able to go to a film set and acting, being in front of the camera, living those moments between action and cut, collaborating with fellow artists who enrich your own craft, collaborating with filmmakers who shape you and mold you as an artist. This is the real reward. You know, just
hmm.
the act of
Well said.
just the fact that I get to do it is the reward itself. So for
Hmm,
me, if a film does well, it's a bonus. Sone pe suhaga.
hmm, hmm,
The fact that I got to work on it, I've already got my prize. I've already got my reward. So if it
hmm,
does well, that's a bonus. I've also learned how to more effectively deal with success and failure, in the sense that
hmm,
I, you know, there was this. I was doing a little bit of reading, and I know that there is a, in Buddhism, there they encourage you to adopt a middle path. And
hmm, hmm,
in the
hmm.
context of success and failure, they say if you manage to not get too carried away with success,
Swayed away, yeah. True.
and you manage to not get too bogged down by
Suck, yeah.
failure, that's a much healthier way to be. So I kind
Hmm,
of applied that in my life. So if a film is a success, it's almost as if I breathe a sigh of relief कि चलो यार बच गए.
hmm,
Um,
hmm,
especially if you take into consideration the fact that such a small fraction of films actually are successful. You know, less
hmm,
than
hmm,
10% of films are successful. The success rate of major motion pictures is very, very slim. So if a film is a success, you feel very happy for a few days, but then it's very transient. The feeling is very transient. You feel that joy for 3 days, 4 days maybe, and then your focus shifts back to what you're doing in the moment, you know.
hmm,
uh, आप शायद किताबी या philosophical बात लगेगी, लेकिन I believe that the past is ashes, and
Hmm.
the
It is.
future is wood. The only thing that burns is the now. तो
Hmm.
अभी क्या हो रहा है, इस वक्त प्रेजेंट
Hmm.
मोमेंट में क्या हो रहा है? प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में भैया कल सुबह मुझे जाना है, जो फिल्म अगली
Hmm.
मेरी आ रही है जिस पे मैं काम कर रहा हूँ, आई हैव टू गो देयर, गो गेट इनटू कैरेक्टर दैट मॉर्निंग एंड डू माय बेस्ट ऑन दैट डे ऑफ शूट, and all my energies are focused towards what's happening in the now.
Hmm.
So the success is the joy that you get out of a successful film, for me, is short lived. And similarly, the failure, I don't मातम नहीं मनाता हूँ. I don't mourn it for too many days. बहुत बुरा लगता है, because you share this one commonality with everybody who works on film, is that everybody who's working in film invariably is very passionate about films, is very passionate
Hmm.
about, that's why they're there, from the lightman to the spot boy to the cameraman to the director. Everybody is very passionate about creating cinema.
True.
And when all these good people with good intentions put their best foot forward, and all these collective energies come together to create this thing that is so beloved to you, it's almost like a child. um,
Hmm.
and then it doesn't do well, you feel very bad, um, for the fact that it didn't work out. Then you get into analytical mode, what might have gone wrong, but very soon you have to shed that off, because that can
Hmm.
be if you,
Detrimental. Yeah.
yeah, if you engage with it for a limited amount of time, it'll teach you something. You'll understand
Hmm.
why people are
Hmm.
criticizing, why it didn't work, what went wrong, what you could have done better. It'll teach you something, but you must engage then only for a limited period of time.
Hmm.
After a few days, you got to move on and focus everything on what you're doing in that moment.
Yeah. Why I asked you this? Because a movie is made in months. Whatever the outcome is, it stays until you deliver the next one. It's so different for us. It's every week. So you
Right.
are a hero today. They're chanting your name. Next, they're abusing you. In 4 days, 5 days.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
you are a hero. So we don't have time. So we don't have time to think. There is no time. Oh यार ये हो गया, वो मुझे ये बोल रहा था, उसने मुझे कंधे पे ले लिया, उसने मुझे गाली दी. No time. So the learning part for us is very quick. Saturday match, Sunday recovery, Monday you got on the pitch, bored, go back, Saturday match again. That's why I asked you. And I also asked you because someone very close to you, I won't say scared, but is a little bit skeptical as to what will happen, because the last 4 5 movies of yours were a blockbuster. And last 4 5 movies, she saw you giving more of you to the movie. Now she's a little bit wary, I won't say scared, but she, not the actress, but the wife, is a little bit wary what will happen, because every movie he's giving more and more. What will happen? And I hope the streak goes long, because it's life. You will have hits and you will have flops, as simple as that. But I hope the streak goes long, and I hope whenever it shouldn't come, but whenever it comes, be sane, because your wife is a little bit tense about it.
She's dare I say, a much more evolved person than I am. She's much more mature than I am. She has seen um, um, more ups and downs in her career than I have, and she's a great guide for me.
Hmm.
She's a pillar for me. She keeps me on track. I often say that I probably wouldn't have been able to achieve the little that I have achieved in my career if it wasn't for her. I I've been working. This is my 10th year, and
Yeah.
I met her 3 years into show business, and I've been with her ever since. मुझे कभी-कभी लगता है I would not have been able to cope with the pressures of celebrity, or cope with the um, you know status as a movie star. मैं भटक जाता, basically. कहने का मतलब ये है कि
That's it.
अगर ये
Yeah.
नहीं होती मेरी लाइफ में, तो मैं भटक जाता.
Nice.
And she worries for me, uh, only on account of the fact that uh, she sees that I'll go to any extent to achieve the desired result for the
Exactly what she
character.
said.
it
Exactly what she said.
it's not I can't say it is it's very healthy at times.
Hmm.
It does take its toll on you. There are certain characters who've taken their toll on me physically. Other characters that have taken their toll on me mentally, emotionally. But when you push yourself to the brink and you come through it, then you've evolved. Then you've
Hmm.
progressed. You've pushed
Hmm.
past the pain and the struggle, and then when you come out on the other side, you are a new version of yourself. And I think
Hmm.
that's the beauty of the craft. But over a period of time, and I'm happy to report this to you and to my wife, who I'm sure is tuned in right now, that I have found more effective ways of achieving the desired result without those processes being harmful to oneself. So I'm becoming more adept at my craft.
Lovely. So that takes me to my fifth question, which is also about acting, and this is the last one. Again, disclaimer: if the question is naive, forgive me. So in my profession, it's a team game. Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, yeah, Mrs. She's enjoying it. Yeah.
I love you,
So
baby.
yeah, the only request, Deepika ji, please don't spill the beans. You gave away my question of the writer one. Please don't give away anything now because I've got questions left to ask Ranveer. All right. So my next one is we got a team sport, and I want to think even making a movie is a team sport where everyone comes together and builds something. So in my sport, even if you don't like what the coach wants,
Hmm.
even if you don't like your teammate, doesn't
Hmm.
happen often, but even if you don't like the ideology or anything,
Hmm.
you still go with what the coach wants.
Mhm.
Period. You
Mhm.
might not like it, you might not be happy, but you go with it because in our sports, the probability of getting success is more if good or bad, wrong or right, you're in the same direction. How does it work in an acting thing? Because now I've also read, correct me if I'm wrong, that heroes have a lot of say on the movie.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know much. So do you have those heated conversations with the director or the mind of the movie saying this is not going right, let's do this, or is it at the end he says whatever and it's done, we all go to the same thing?
पहले तो मैं ये बोलना चाहूंगा skip that these are not amateur level questions. हाँ आप जो the parallels you are drawing, they are very
No, because
insightful.
I'm taking context
It's a,
from my own
it's
sports.
a great question, Skip, and I would
Hmm.
love to answer it. I think you're very right in drawing that parallel between team sports and the collaborative nature of movie making. It is
Hmm.
a team effort, and the director is like the coach, like the manager. Um,
Hmm.
and like you very rightly said, you may not agree at times, but different players react differently.
Hmm.
Some will rebel, some will do their own thing. I hear from you that more often than not, you have to go with the conviction of the coach, even if you're not in
Hmm.
agreement. And
Hmm.
I would say the same thing as the leading man in the film, because I genuinely believe that films are a director's medium. You know,
Hmm.
the the it's like you are just a tool. You are one part of a much larger process, but the
Hmm.
actual creator is the captain of the ship, is the one at the helm, is the director. uh,
Hmm.
so uh, so you give your input to the director, you present your point of view, but if you reach a point of conflict where
Hmm.
what the director wants is not what you have in mind, it is always there is always merit in going with the director's conviction, because he's the one who has his eyes on the bigger picture,
Hmm.
and it's really his baby, it's a director's medium. So I
Hmm.
find that in these sorts of situations you should always go with the conviction of the director.
And has it
but
ever
but
happened? I'm
but
not.
but like you said, you're very this is one insight that is absolutely genuine. Is that in the Hindi movie making process, like you said, the heroes have a lot of say, you know.
Hmm.
um, they sort of
I read
are,
about it, so that's
yeah,
why I asked you.
they're very
Hmm.
important centers of the movie making ecosystem.
Hmm.
But that is evolving and that is changing.
Hmm.
There is a new wave of artists, who don't subscribe to the old notions of the hero being the be all and end all or the authoritative figure on the film set.
Hmm.
Is really there's only one boss on that set, and that's the director. So I'm very happy to report to you that the new wave has a very different way uh, of acting in functioning in the filmmaking process. But yeah, you have to understand that you are a team player,
Hmm.
and it's the director's medium. So
Hmm.
you basically you have to be cognizant of what your place is in this entire process, and embrace that. And
Hmm.
it's not like I ever shy away from giving my input or suggestion or collaboration. um, um, but and oftentimes the directors love it. They love the
Hmm.
suggestion.
Hmm.
But if they reject it, you just take it in your stride, and realize that the director knows best. And
Hmm.
I will name the director with whom this holds absolutely true. Is a big boss, my main man, Mr. Rohit Shetty. When
Okay.
I have a suggestion, I have something to contribute every time. Every time I'll
Hmm.
go to the monitor and say, "Boss, मैं ये करूँ, boss, मैं वो करूँ." When he says it, he loves it. Go do it, be happy. But when he doesn't do it, it is for a particular reason. And then when you watch the movie back, you're like, now I understand
Hmm.
why that
Hmm.
suggestion wouldn't work. So you have to realize that he's the one who has the bird's eye view and
Hmm.
has his eyes on the final picture and the
Bigger
larger
picture.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same, coach. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, his process is very precise. So it holds true in that case more than others. Um, and yeah, I understand that as the leading man, you have a position of leadership. You are a leader on a film set, and you have that responsibility. And I really I'm very thankful, but I don't have delusions about my importance on a film set. I realize that I'm only a part of a much larger process where there are a lot of other forces contributing to create this.
That's well put up. For I think a lot of sports people who have tuned in, that's a good insight on movies. Because I, as I said, I was asking you just as a fan, a lot of things that I don't know about movie making. So before I go to my sixth one and the rapid fire, can I request you for a small tea break, if you don't mind? Because I'm
Totally.
enjoying it. I just didn't realize it's 1 hour already. So to everyone who is tuned in, exact 2 minutes. And when I say 2 minutes, it means a sports person 2 minutes, not a movie making 2 minutes, which means
Okay,
10
okay.
minutes. So in 2 minutes, we'll be back.
Bhag ke. We have a
G,
code language, skipper. In movies,
G. Yeah,
because you have to communicate out loud,
yeah,
you don't say toilet jana hai, bathroom
yeah.
jana hai. The code word is 10-1.
Okay,
10-1 करके आया मैं.
lovely. I have to ask you more about this. Let me get back to you in 2 minutes.
Done. The clock. In fact,
Hmm.
this has been a battle for me, on many film sets where I have to tell the first AD, guys, you got to slow the pace down. It's starting to affect the work.
Hmm.
Because given that you have 8 hours, time is money, you have to achieve it. You're always running against time to achieve those shots.
Hmm.
So you have to take it for granted that everybody is trying to get this done as soon as possible, as fast and as efficiently as possible.
Hmm.
Now, like you said, there are 50 factors that contribute to a single shot, and
Hmm.
all 50 have to be on point. If one link is not working or one cog in the wheel is not working the way it's supposed to, everything will come to a standstill.
Hmm.
So everybody is just going by the assumption कि जैसे ही ये ये issue sort out हुआ, हम लोग shot ले लेंगे. Everybody is trying to get it done as soon as possible.
But there's no
So
definite answers. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
therefore, everybody is giving their own time frame. But I'll tell you, जब भी कोई 15 minutes बोलता है ना, and I also use it. Sir, आपको रेडी होने में कितना टाइम लगेगा? 15 minutes. 15 minutes is the biggest lie.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's yeah, but then if you all understand, then it's good. Okay, superstar, I've got a rapid fire for you.
Oh, lovely. Here we are.
Yeah, the first one,
The dreaded
Eminem.
rapid fire.
Yeah, Eminem or Snoop Dogg? Yeah, I got you. Sunil Chhetri 1, Ranveer Singh 0. There is nothing rapid about this answer. Come on, Eminem or Snoop Dogg?
Oh, Eminem.
If that gave you a problem, this will kill you. LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
I have a very funny Snoop Dogg story, Sunil, where you must ask me
Go
later.
on, go on, please go on, go
Okay.
on, go
No,
on.
no. Rapid fire.
Okay,
Rapid
okay.
fire, rapid hona chahiye.
LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
Pass.
बोलना ही नहीं. Third one. The one song that defines your life or personality the best.
मेरी पैंट भी sexy.
Whoa, I love that song.
गाओ.
मेरी पैंट भी सेक्सी, मेरी शर्ट भी सेक्सी, ये रुमाल भी सेक्सी है. Something like that.
क्या बात है. लॉन्च करो
90s kid. 90s kid. That's what I told you. Govinda was yeah. Okay, the next one. What gives you goosebumps?
What gives me goosebumps?
Yeah.
Moments in cinema, moments in sports, and some unmentionable things also. But
Good one. Good one. Okay. In one word, describe Bombay.
home.
The one movie of the 90s you wish you would have done.
वास्तव 90s ही था ना यार.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. Yeah. 50 tola, of course.
I know. You are such a filmy buff, Skipper.
I
never
know.
knew this.
Now I have stopped. I mean, sadly, before that I used to do a lot of movies. और काम क्या था? Cricket देखना, movies और बाहर खेलना. Of course. Yeah. Okay, the next one. You have 1 hour over coffee with any sports personality, past or present. Who are you picking?
Muhammad Ali.
Wow. Are you a Muhammad Ali fan?
I'm just a huge sports fan, Skipper. The reason I picked Muhammad Ali is because the conversations then wouldn't be restricted to just sport. You know, here you have an athlete who stood for something that is
True.
larger than boxing, that is larger than sports. He was an icon at many levels. Somebody who stood for something, who had the fortitude to fight for what he believed in. He made some history-altering decisions
True.
in his life, and I have a great amount of admiration for that kind of conviction and that kind of fortitude. And I feel like he'll, with his kind of wit and humor and his gregarious nature, it would be a memorable evening. Therefore, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and I think the way you say these things, 1 hour won't be enough for all your questions. Okay, so now that takes me to the 6th question now. I have got serious feedback of what I'm going to ask you now. Okay, I've got footages also. So think twice before you lie. Okay, and I really want you to be honest because I know you're an honest guy. Your opponent, Deepika Padukone on badminton court, does not give you more than 3 points. And after the game, listen, after the game, your opponent said, quote, he only gets 3 points because I respect the fact that he is Prakash Padukone's son-in-law. Comment, please.
Baby! Baby!
तो जो 3 पॉइंट के लिए आप खुश हो रहे थे, वो 3 पॉइंट भी आपको खैरात में मिलते हैं, गिफ्ट में.
एक्सपोज कर रही है तू मुझे. रुक.
ESPN Star Sports is waiting for your. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We need a comment. Come on.
स्किप, अब मैं क्या बताऊं, मुझे लगा यार मैं तो एथलेटिक बंदा हूं, मैंने भी खेला बड़ा बैडमिंटन बचपन में, नानी के घर में, कंपाउंड में, गाड़ियों के
ढल
पीछे भी।
गया दिन टुक हो गई शाम टुक जा।
तो मैंने सोचा यार अ, हाँ, मतलब ठीक
You
है,
look embarrassed, man. You look embarrassed.
if you think this is an embarrassed look, you should see my face when I'm on the court and she doesn't let me in a 21-point game. She doesn't, I think the maximum I've scored is 5 or something. Kabhi kabhi to I don't
What
get
if?
off the mark. I thought firstly though
No.
she's been out of practice and that I'm basically an athletic guy, so I'll be able to keep up and maybe she'll win, but I'll put up a good fight. ये जो मतलब मेरा हाल करती हैं. I realized that it's not just about badminton. It's not just about athleticism. It is about the skills of putting the shuttlecock wherever you want to. And yeah, I didn't realize that there'd be such a vast gulf between my abilities and hers. So that is one aspect of my life that I really want to get better at is badminton. So I'm able to at least not be a complete washout, a complete embarrassment on the court.
And next time when you get a point, you'll be thinking, यार इसने मुझे इसलिए दिया है कि मैं सर का दामाद हूँ या इसलिए दिया कि मैंने अर्न किया है? You always be thinking now.
You don't believe all these things that she says, huh? Like I'm only giving him 5 points, 8 points because he's Prakash Padukone's son-in-law. She is ruthless. एक दिन तो मैंने बोला बेबी मेरा दिल रखने के लिए कुछ 2-3 पॉइंट एक्स्ट्रा दे देती मुझे. I'm out of frustration. I'm whacking the shuttlecock. I Prakash Padukone, my wonderful father-in-law, has gifted me Yonex वाले fancy
Yeah.
वाले rackets, इसलिए मैं racket नहीं तोड़ता हूँ क्योंकि sentimental value है, लेकिन वो मेरा बस चले तो मैं भी वो भी तोड़ दूँ. इतना embarrass करती है मुझे. She is not letting up any point. She takes the game seriously, and if she could beat me 0 every game, she'd do that. She is ruthless when she's on the badminton court. जो हाल किया है ना मेरा, लेकिन स्किपर मैं वादा करता हूँ इंस्टाग्राम लाइव पे 11 on 10 पे ये मेरा वादा है कि मैं हार्डवर्क करूंगा और एक ना एक दिन मैं 21 पॉइंट गेम में 10 क्रॉस करके दिखाऊंगा.
चलो, that's a good one and it's on record now. Good. So
देख दीपू तू देख.
So staying with your Deepu, just to see her and say, you know what, all the best and go back. All these things, when she was telling me, she was fondly remembering it and she enjoys about you the most. What do you want to say? How was those times when you were just friends and then you were on a period where you're trying to woo her? How much hard work were you putting in? How naturally was it coming? And how were those days? Because she very fondly remembers them.
All the young gentlemen who have tuned into this live chat, dekho hours, and she loved lilies in particular. Or मैं Skip, about 6 months into dating, I knew that she was the one, and I wanted her to be mine for life. So I was very, very diligent about courting her and wooing her. So yes, every time she'd come, there would be flowers, and I would make ridiculously compressed trips to go and meet her if she was shooting somewhere else. So in a nutshell, you could say that I worked very hard in trying to get her to consider marrying me. And I remember there was this one time where I was talking to my dad, and we were in the office together going over some stuff, and he turned around to me and he said, "Do you realize how much money you're spending on flowers?" So I was like, "Papa, आप पेशेंस रखो, हजारों जा रहे हैं लेकिन लक्ष्मी के अवतार में एक छप्पड़ फाड़ के आपको इसका रिटर्न मिलने वाला है, आप टेंशन मत लो."
So all the people, because I've got a part B of this question. So everyone who is going, oh, Ranveer, how sweet. Only me and Deepika know what's coming next. So after listening to all the good things that Ranveer has done, when he was trying to woo Deepika, he promised that, baby, one day मैं अपने हाथों से तुम्हें खाना बना के खिलाऊंगा. और वो दिन आज तक नहीं आया और आपकी बीवी जान अभी तक परेशान है इस बात को लेकर. कहती है खाना बनाने के लिए मदद करने तो आता है, कुछ प्याज व्याज काट देता है, लेकिन आज तक लिलीज आ गए, फ्लावर्स आ गया, सब प्यार व्यार आ गया, शादी भी हो गई, पर एक बंदा था जिसने प्रॉमिस किया था कि बेबी मैं तेरे को अपने हाथों से खाना बना के खिलाऊंगा. वो दिन आज तक नहीं आया. दीपिका, थैंक यू सो मच.
कि पर मैं दीपिका को और मेरे इन-लॉज को इम्प्रेस करने के लिए बोल रहा था. जब मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में होता था ना, तब मैं बटर चिकन बनाता था और मेरे घर के बाहर लाइन लग जाती थी. पाकिस्तानी बच्चे, बांग्लादेशी बच्चे, दिल्ली के लौंडे सब मेरे घर आते थे, बोलते रणवीर भाई बटर चिकन बनाओ. मेरे बटर चिकन का कोई मुकाबला नहीं है. बाद में बातों में बात निकल आई कि वो चीटिंग वाली बटर चिकन थी. वो जो रेडीमेड मसाले मिलते हैं ना, उनको मिला के मैंने बनाया. तो फिर मतलब मुझे लगा कि मैं बहुत 30 मार खा हूँ, बटर चिकन वगैरह बना रहा हूँ. सब बोल रहे हैं, मदर इन लॉ भी बोल रही है यार बटर चिकन बना लेता है. बाद में आई रियलाइज दैट इफ यू यूज द रेडीमेड पैकेज देन इट डजंट रियली काउंट. सो if I can't do that, then what am I really left with? I'm only left with anda bread. So I can only cook eggs. And Deepika is actually very fond of cooking and very passionate, and she's way better than me. So I leave those kitchen duties to her. But I'm a very enthusiastic assistant to her. Whenever she's baking or making me Thai food, especially in this time of lockdown where we've had more time to do these little things, I am a very enthusiastic Santa's little helper. But yeah, I leave that to her. लेकिन आपकी बात मुझे मान लेनी चाहिए. बैडमिंटन में नहीं तो कुकिंग में मैं कुछ तो कर सकता हूँ. अंडा तो मैं बना सकता हूँ. आई थिंक कल
अच्छा, वो अंडे के लिए भी बोल रही है यू कांट इवन मेक एग्स. दोस्त ऐसा करते हैं, सुनो, बहुत बेइज्जती हो रही है एज अ हस्बैंड. एक काम करते हैं, इतने लॉकडाउन में आप इतना इंट्रोस्पेक्ट कर रहे हो, अपने आप को पढ़ रहे हो, थोड़ा सा कुकिंग में ध्यान देते हैं, एक चीज तो बनाते हैं इनके लिए. वरना मैं अगली बार इनको फोन करूंगा, बोलेंगी उसने सब कुछ किया, खाना नहीं बनाया मेरे को, तो कुछ तो बनाते हैं इनके लिए.
स्किपर, अब तो बात पब्लिक में आ गई है. बैडमिंटन में तो मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा, वो तो छोड़ दो, उसमें तो टाइम लग जाएगा. लेकिन कल सुबह मेक एग्स नाउ. तू रुक यार, तू रुक ले.
Show them you can make eggs.
It's a very formal engagement, baby. This is not for informal people like you. Non-serious. स्किपर देखना, कल सुबह, अब तो लेट हो गया है, डिनर का टाइम हो गया है, कल सुबह मैं बनाऊंगा ब्रेकफास्ट और मैं डालूंगा इंस्टाग्राम पे.
चलो ग्रेट. और एक
अंडों का राजा, ब्रेड का बादशाह.
I was just thinking when you were saying, you know what, Skipper, I did this for her, I did flowers for her. I knew the question that is coming next, and Deepika and me was with laughing inside.
Skipper, I knew early on only. Like I said, 6 months into it, I knew she was the one. And I knew, like, I felt at least at that time that, yeah, she's way above my league. She's out of my league. So I have to work extra hard. So I did everything in the courting period. I think I went about it like textbook. Flowers bhi, और dates भी, और everything. जो आप बोलो उस पे मैंने टिक लगाया हुआ था. और देखो आज मुझे देखो, आज मैंने वाइफ बना के रखा है. मुझे अंडा भी नहीं बनाना पड़ता है, बना के मिलता है मुझे अंडा.
लेकिन प्लीज बना दीजिएगा कुछ अच्छा सा उनके लिए, कुछ भी.
Deepika saying dare him to make eggs now. Tomorrow morning, you got it. तू देख, ऐसा अंडा बनाऊंगा.
And the worst thing is उन्हें खाना पड़ेगा. All right, so let's go to the next one.
Sir,
were a gully boy even before Gully Boy happened with you, even before the movie came. I've done the research that you are a proper Bandra boy. All those gullies, this, that, everything. Talk us to that. Like, how was it? Like, how did it help you to make that movie? Or when the concept came to you, when the director came to you, Zoya, and said, "Do you think?" You said, "You know what? This is me. You know, this is exactly what I am. I know this. You know, I've been. It's not only about, me reading about a script and going back and doing homework. This is me. I know it. I know the rap culture. I know the people. I hang with them because I saw some videos of yours and you're so sweet. After becoming who you are, you went back and you made videos and you were hanging with them and you were actually rapping and it was very sweet. So how was it? How like did you think that Gully Boy is mine? This is me. I mean, this is exactly for me.
Definitely, Skip. I mean, it was, and a lot of people who know me a little say that it was a role that was, you could say, perfect for me or tailor made for me. And I'll tell you why. Because it was a combination of a lot of things um, that resonate with me very, very deeply. One is my love for Mumbai. I'm a
Hmm.
bona fide Mumbai lad. So my love for the city where I'm born in, ये मेरी कर्म भूमि है, जन्म भूमि है. So it means a lot to me. I'm very proud of my city. महानगरी इसे कहते हैं. And I see all the beautiful aspects of it. And I wanted to pay tribute to it if the opportunity were to come about, and Gully Boy was that perfect opportunity. You could say, in a way, what Zoya created was a love letter to Mumbai itself, and along with this um, the theme of Mumbai city, there was rap and hip hop,
Hmm.
which also resonates with me very, very deeply. I started listening to rap and hip hop at a very young age. A cousin of mine used to come over from the United States of America, and he used to bring with him these uh, cassette tapes of Tupac Shakur, and we used to listen to it. And
Yeah.
not that I understood those very mature themes, or was too familiar with the language at the time, but there was, even at that age, I could definitely recognize that there is something very authentic about this man's expression, and I got
Hmm.
hooked onto that kind of music immediately, and I had been listening to hip hop ever since.
Hmm.
So much so that I used to look up the lyrics on the internet, and I used to learn up the lyrics. And I always had a great love um, for hip hop. So
Hmm.
Mumbai coming together with hip hop, it was just absolutely a dream for me. But even beyond these themes of Mumbai city and hip hop culture, there is something that about the character that I really connect with, in the sense that he's somebody who didn't compromise on his dreams. There's one very, very beautiful line he says in a scene with his father, played by Vijay Raz.
Hmm.
He says, मुझे मैं नहीं बदलता अपने सपने अपनी सच्चाई से मेल खाने के लिए, मैं अपनी सच्चाई बदलूंगा जो मेरे सपनों से मेल खाए.
Hmm.
And that is something that constituted the essence of the character, the core of the character, and that's something I really, really resonated with, because sometimes you find, like I always wanted to become an actor, just the way
Hmm.
this guy always wanted to become a rapper,
Hmm.
and the conditions that he finds himself in, his given circumstances, aren't necessarily favorable to him achieving that dream of his, but
Hmm.
he perseveres and believes in himself and finally makes it. So
Hmm.
so my connect with the character was at a very deep level in that sense. But one of the most rewarding experiences, and I'm ever so grateful to Zoya for making me a part of it. I don't think I've ever spoken about this before, but there were it was a complicated process for me becoming a part of Gully Boy. Zoya had to fly to Paris to give me a narration. She gave me the narration, she showed me the video, and I was like, man, this is just the stuff of dreams.
Hmm.
Um, I can't imagine such an amazing world, and such an amazing character coming my way. But if I were to come on to the film, the wait would have been longer than Zoya wanted to wait, and
Hmm.
this part that seemed perfect for me felt like it. There was a point where it was just going to slip out of my grasp, and I
Miss
wasn't
out, yeah.
going to do it
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
some date issue or something. But in that also I persevered. I used to take selfies. I used to hood लगा के ना ऐसे hood लगा के मैं ऐसे selfie लेके भेजता था जोया को, and I used to send her these long messages. जोया, मैं बता रहा हूँ ये रोल सिर्फ मैं कर सकता हूँ, तू रुक और हम लोग बनाएंगे और ऐसा बनाएंगे. Fortunately for me, with the grace of the Almighty, everything worked out, and the film happened, and it turned out to be a rewarding experience. And then bonus सोने पे सुहागा भी हो गया. I felt like the film did well. It got the critical acclaim and the commercial success, but also was culturally significant, which is something that I'm extremely proud of. So I'm really proud of the team of Gully Boy, and it'll always be a glowing gem in my filmography.
So when the movie came, we were in the national team. All of us watched it, completely enjoyed it. For the first, I enjoyed the movie, but the first 10 days, I couldn't decipher the words. Aare la hai, jare la hai, khare la hai. I don't understand the lingo. But the boys inside the dressing room and the bus was so pumped up. They came to me and make me understand where you can use Pateli. Pateli करना क्या होता है? Everyone should come to me कि भाई ये ऐसा होता है. And there's some Mumbai boys, Bombay boys, you know. And he told me that ये ऐसे होता है, ये word आप यहाँ use कर सकते हो, ये word यहाँ नहीं जाएगा, इसका मतलब ये है. And I think those 10-15 days after watching the movie, every song was Gully Boy. We're talking about Gully Boy. And I think I watched it 2 times. And I'm not trying to just make you feel happy, but I completely enjoyed it. Second time, because I
Skipper,
got the
all the
knowledge.
real Gully Boys are in the house. We've got Moin Bhai, Vijay Verma is in the house. We've got MC
Lovely.
Sher Siddhant is in the house. Shout out to all my boys.
Great job, guys. Great job, guys. Because I think after the first instant where the boys told me what it means, I went back again to watch it and enjoyed it much more. Go on.
It's actually harks back to one of your earlier questions. Like I said, this dialogue writing little side skill comes in handy. This Gully Boy was a great example, because what used to happen is that the Mumbai, the local lingo evolves so rapidly that it's very important to keep it current and to keep updating it. Their words change, their phrases, their expressions change. We actually had, Zoya made it a point, and this is why she's such a wonderful filmmaker. She ensured that on set we would have 2 of the actual rappers there with us on set every day to answer all our questions. So if there was a link line required, or there was some garnishing or peppering of the dialogues, they were there like touchstones for us to make sure that we were giving the right language. And I think Vijay Maurya has swept all the dialogue writing awards this season.
Some 13 awards out of 19 or 18 nominated. Yeah. Outstanding.
And that's something, that's an aspect of the film that I'm extremely proud of, also because the actors collaborated closely with the writers and the rappers themselves. Everybody came together to create it. And that's something that really, even when I watched the film, it really stood out for me. And that's something, one of the first few things I told Zoya when I came out of the film. I said, Zoya, the language is really the strong suit. And it meant a lot to us, because we were in December with an English draft, and we were going on the floors in late January or February in the filmmaking process. To not have your dialogues written by that point in the process is a red alert. So we were very worried about हमारे dialogues का क्या होगा. Finally, Zoya zeroed in on Vijay Maurya. He wrote his draft. It turned out to be great. We kept bettering that through the process. So what was actually our weak point going into the shooting process, finally, when we saw the film, is the one thing that stands out the most to you, is the authenticity of the spoken language. So yeah, very proud of the team for having made a weakness a strength.
Great. While we're on this topic, there's a message for you from my mom and my mother-in-law. They say, we love you. That's it.
Auntie,
And
thank
they
you
say,
so
please
much.
pass on the message like it is. We love you. So one said, I love you, and I said, I love you. So just passing the message.
Thank you, Auntie. Peripona, with your blessings, I'll continue to do good work and keep entertaining you. Thank you so much
In
for this.
fact, in fact, in fact, the whole family is a fan. As I said, they watch a lot of movies and they are a fan.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much. My love to all of them.
Thank you so much. The next one, and this is the ninth one, won't take much of time of yours. You shout from the top of the roof when it comes to the love that you have for Arsenal and Thierry Henry in particular. Now there was your meeting with Thierry Henry in Mumbai, which I couldn't attend. I was about to come, but our coach Roka and our media guy Kunal came, and this is what he said to me. He said, "Bhai, I've got immense respect for Ranveer." I said, "What happened?" Why he came there and he just came as a fan and not as Ranveer Singh. I said, then he came, the music was off, he was there, he stood on the chair and he said what a big fan of Thierry Henry he is. And he chanted all the chants that he knew about Thierry Henry and Arsenal. How sweet is that? And how it tells me how genuine a fan of you are of Arsenal and Thierry Henry. Please, when did the love affair start? From when are you in love with Arsenal? And talk about Thierry Henry. Because I'm a fan. I'm a Thierry Henry fan.
That's wonderful to know, Skip. I'll tell you where it all started. And not many people know this, but I must mention this on this chat. Even before we started getting English Premier League football telecast in India, that it happened around the turn of the century.
Hmm.
I used to be obsessively watching Indian football. JCT Pagwara, East Bengal, Mohan Bagan, Salgaonkar, Dempo. Those days when Baichung Bhutia, I am Vijayan, when they were playing the league. I used to.
Yeah.
We've been watching football since then. Then the
Yeah.
turn of the century happened. We started getting English Premier League football, and we got hooked immediately. At that time, I was at a crossroads. I used to
Hmm.
like Chelsea a lot. Also, I used to like Arsenal a lot. Also,
Hmm.
and I was getting drawn to both of these two teams.
Hmm.
And then I kind of figured, ठीक है यार, मैं स्कूल में रेड हाउस में होता था तो चलो रेड. तो it just so
You always
happened.
you always needed a sign at those
Yeah,
times. When you're an early fan, you always need a sign. Yeah.
yeah, you just
I
need a
get it.
sign.
Yeah.
The most unassuming of things becomes a deciding factor.
Hmm.
And then I started watching the way the Arsenal was playing, the Invincibles phase, the kind of,
Wow.
you know, three-dimensional, like total football,
Hmm.
something like Ajax was playing one and a half. When I saw Ajax playing in the, successful Champions League run, I was like, man, this reminds me of the old Arsenal.
Hmm.
That those Invincibles with Vieira pulling the strings. Um, we had Bergkamp, Perez, Lundberg, such a fantastic squad. And in the basically what happened was in the years that I started watching English Premier League football, Arsenal was playing the best football out there. So I immediately
They
got
were.
attracted to him. And what it is about Henry that attracts me so much was his grace and his swagger. He had a certain style about him. Just the way he runs, his first touch. He's so silky on the ball.
Such a big guy, still so silky. Yeah.
And he has such confidence, such swagger. He's very handsome player. So I was very very attracted, and of course he was like the king at Arsenal. So he became naturally became my favorite player. Then when I heard he was coming to Mumbai, I was almost in disbelief, and I was actually coming in from out of town. The plane landed. I called the people who were there at the party with him. I said, "Is he still there?" I called all my friends, gathered them, ran, and I'll never forget. Um, I was in the car with two of my best friends, also die-hard Arsenal fans, and we were discussing, over all the years, all the moments that we've experienced, with Henri, his significant goals, the highlight moments of his career.
Hmm.
So that build up was already happening. You were getting nostalgic and reminiscent about all the moments that you've experienced from afar, with regards to Thierry Henry. And then I remember I entered and I saw him, and I got emotional, Skip, because, and I didn't
I
realize
was
that
told.
would happen to me. And that day changed my life forever. It happened very, very recently. It was like 3 or 4 years back, but it changed me forever. And I'll tell you, my most significant takeaway from my engagement and interaction with Henri was that the fan and celebrity dynamic was never the same after my meeting with Henri. You know, sometimes they say you should never meet your idols, you'll be
Hmm.
disappointed. In
True.
this case, what happened to me is that sometimes, you know, in my early days when I used to be interacting with a fan and they would get very emotional. Sometimes I used to feel ki yaar ye is this excessive, you know, this
Hmm.
outpouring of emotion, is this excessive? But when it happened to me, when I found
Hmm.
myself on the other side, I realized what it means. It's because you have, भले ही दूर से, you have a genuine heartfelt connection with this person,
True.
what they stand
True.
for, what they've achieved. And when I was watching the Arsenal of that era, and I was experiencing all those emotions, when I met Henri or laid eyes on him, all those emotions came surging back to me कि यार ये Henri साक्षात मेरे सामने है. And then the fact that he was so graceful, so patient, so warm, so welcoming, it changed my it changed my life interacting with him. Because after that day, I have so much more respect for every time I'm engaging or interacting with a fan. If Henri can be like that with me, then I have to pay that grace forward. So I'll always be indebted to him for giving me that life lesson, is to have the utmost respect for the that dynamic. I've always tried to, whatever the goodness that I received from Thierry Henry, I always try and pay it forward.
That's a very good thing you said, where you meet somebody who you idolize, and then you also somebody who is in public eye and people like you. You get a perspective. I got it when I meet people like Mary Com and Rahul Dravid, because I was a fan when I was growing up, and I've now met them. And then you know how cool they are, how not bothered about who they are, what they've achieved, and you realize, wow, man, who are you? Who are you to even give a cold shoulder or to think that you've done anything big? When you
Yes,
meet these kind of stars and you think, my God, look at how down to earth you are. It doesn't bother you. I mean, you're just so cool.
well
So
said,
I
Skip.
completely understand. I completely understand. Wow, that was a good one. I also remember one of the incident, if I may take a little bit of time of yours, Ranveer. I was at Ambani's house for some event, and then Ranveer Singh, the superstar, came. You've already done a lot of movies. And then there was Diego Forlan there.
Yeah.
And the way you met Diego Forlan and with the knowledge that he had, I came back and I told my wife, then my girlfriend, that this guy is so cool. He did not need to do that. Because I don't know if you understand this. He did not need to do that. But he was so, first of all, humble. Proper fan came out and he was so respectful. And I'll tell you, when I said this to my wife, once we were watching something and they were showing about your dresses, about how loud you are, how colorful you are. And she was like, yeah, I know what they're showing this. I said, you know what? You don't know something about this guy. I haven't met him many times. We only see him in movies and these things where they show all these things. But he's genuinely a good guy who knows what he's speaking, especially about sports. We know about Thierry Henry, we read about it. But then your knowledge about Diego Forlan and the World Cup, and now you're talking about JCD Mills and stuff. This guy knows his sport. And for wherever you have reached to still be the fan and be so respectful is a great virtue, Ranveer. No matter who you become next, never lose that. That's one of the best thing about you.
Thank you, Skip. I have very fond memories of my wedding night, when you and Sonam were so kind to come, and those moments are etched in my memory forever. I was very, very happy, and really just, just really, I was honored that you came.
Thank you
It
so much.
was, it was those that party night is etched in my memory forever.
Yeah, and my wife is a proper. I mean, she loves watching a lot of movies and Bollywood stuff. So when we entered your party, she was all a little bit starstruck, and she's telling me that one is that actor, that one is that actor, that was that, this, and she was very. And I had to take her to a corner because she's like, nobody knows me. I don't know much. So we went to the corner. I was all right. I was all in the corner. And then Deepika was so kind, and you were so kind. You came, and then Mr. Bachchan came, and then I think Dhoni came, and we all had a picture. Then तो मेरी बीवी ने रायता फैला दिया. मैंने कहा ऐसे मत नाच दोस्त. She was dancing as if it's her शादी. मैं तो side
Too
में आ
good.
जा please.
मजा आ गया.
She went mad. She's dancing. She's so happy, and she couldn't stop talking about that night for so many days. Yeah, and
Same
it's so
here.
good
Same.
now. Yeah,
They are memories that are lifelong memories.
yeah, that's nice. What a sweet. Okay, Ranveer Superstar. I've got this last one, and I know I've already taken your almost 2 hours. This is the last one, and this is something that I've made myself without thinking too much. I called a lot of people for you to ask what ticks you, what makes you angry, what's the other side, and no one, not even including a wife, could tell us. And they said what we see of Ranveer outside is completely different what is inside. And he's not somebody who is angry a lot. He's not somebody. So you tell me what ticks you off. What is something that makes you angry? There are a few things that Deepika told me that you don't like. I won't say. I want to hear from the horse's mouth. But what ticks you off? What makes you mad? What makes you angry?
Hmm. Um. Skip. This is a tough one, huh? Um.
Save it for the last.
But I'll be completely honest with you. I'm actually a very, I'm very serious when I'm on set,
Hmm.
and I'm very serious about. I take the process very, very seriously. So if I find that to be, if I smell, um, if somebody is being a prima donna, if somebody is lackadaisical in their work, if somebody is not respecting the process, then that kind of ticks me off. And um, as a leader, I definitely point it out, um, uh, and try to bring them up to speed, because for me, um, if there are 200 people working on the set and 195 of them are putting their best foot forward, the other five who aren't doing that, they ought to respect the efforts of everybody else and understand that it's only when everybody does their best will we do our best. You don't want
True.
to look back on it with regret, that you could have done better. Whatever आज जो छपने वाला है वो जिंदगी भर के लिए ऐसे ही छपेगा. ये
Hmm.
शॉट यही दिन को लेंगे, we'll never revisit it. And
Hmm.
whatever we have to do here and now. So
Hmm.
respect the moment, respect the process, and if you are not bringing your best, then maybe you haven't earned the right to be a part of this team, because the rest of
Hmm.
us are all here to give our best.
True.
There's something that kind of, and I told Deepika this also. I was watching, I know you have as well, that you have been watching The Last Dance.
Oh,
Um,
superb.
yeah, and there was one episode that kind of vindicated me. It absolved me because, Skipper, whenever I become that kind of strict or stern leader on the film set, um, it doesn't end there. I take that back with me, and at home at night, and for several days, I'm thinking to myself and wallowing in this guilt of having said something to somebody, you know, ki, and that's not. I'm like, that's not me. Maybe I could have been a little bit more gentle. Maybe I could have, you know, maybe I could have थोड़ा हल्के हाथ के साथ में डील कर सकता. There all this going on inside me even after the moment has passed. Um, but when I saw that episode of The Last Dance and I saw Michael Jordan very honestly saying that I was trying to achieve a certain level of excellence, and if you weren't up to speed, then I was
Then
going to
you're not
let
a
you
part of
know
it.
about
Yeah.
it.
True.
And he was very unapologetic about it. He said that is what needs to be done if that is what you are trying to achieve.
To achieve.
So that was a huge vindication for me, that sometimes it's okay to crack the whip, if that's what's required, because it's really everything is contributing towards the aim, the goal. And If a whip needs to be cracked, then it needs to be cracked. So that was very vindicating for me, because I used to live in a lot of guilt कि यार मैंने कभी किसी को
ज्यादा बोल दिया, कुछ
गुस्से में
बोल
बोल
दिया.
दिया कि short में कुछ and it's not, and it's never because of lack of ability or capability. It's always the lack of intention or the lack of sincerity. You may not be
Yeah, that bothers you
capable
more. Yeah,
or able to do it, and I'm okay with that. I can understand everybody's human and everybody has a limited
different
capacity.
capabilities. Yeah,
Yeah, you have a limited skill set, and that's completely understandable. But if you're not making the effort, if I see that you're being insincere in the effort, and that your intention is not to give your best, that's when I get a little bit ticked off.
that's well said. That's exactly what I also feel. That's well said, Ranveer. Now I've come to the end of the 10th question. I want to say you something, Ranveer. When I was thinking about who to bring, the first one was you in my head. I was really happy that you agreed. I was really, really, really happy and appreciate Deepika's contribution and a few of other friends, but I want to spill my sources. Everyone knows you as a superstar. Everyone has seen what you have achieved in the last 6 7 years. My what I know about actors is, and I've got very limited knowledge again, I know you more with the characters you have played, and I've completely enjoyed it, and that's what tells me you're a great actor. I The reason why I wanted to bring you to this show was I wanted to know Ranveer the person, because I don't see Ranveer the person anywhere when I see your characters. You just bring something out completely different. So when I saw Padmavat, or when we don't watch many movies nowadays. 1.5 घंटा जाना है, 3 घंटा वहाँ. I'm not saying to say anything wrong to you. I'm just being honest. We pick our movies, लोगों ने अच्छा बोला है, and then you pick a movie. But all the movies that I've seen of yours, last 4 5 movies, I've completely enjoyed it. I've come back with a character and not Ranveer Singh, and the character has stayed with me. And today we got an opportunity to know Ranveer the person, and he's bloody fun too. He's a nice guy. He's a very simple lad. Somebody who sucks in making food for the wife. Somebody who cannot beat his wife in badminton, but is a very, very good chap. And I enjoyed my time with you, Ranveer. You were our last penalty taker. You were our last penalty taker, and you scored with so much grace, and we won the game on 11 on 10. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you for having me. I must say this myself. I've really been underground, off the grid, off the radar. Not really been out there, just hibernating, being underground and enjoying it. But when you called upon me, it didn't take me a second to agree, because I really have a lot of respect and admiration for you, Skip. And I must say that I've tuned into a few of your sessions, and they are unfiltered, they are insightful, they are humorous, they are entertaining, and you are an absolute pro. So thank you for having me. I've really had a blast.
Thanks a lot, Ranveer. And you have already promised one omelette. You have promised badminton, and you've also promised your fans that you're going to give them a little bit every now and then. Please do that. They have requested me a lot.
Shall be done, Skip. Your wish is my command.
Thanks a lot, Ranveer. Have a good night. Keep entertaining us. Stay healthy always.
Thank you,
Take
Captain.
care.
Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the evening. आपने मेरा Sunday बना दिया. I have not had so much fun interacting in a long time. Thank you.
I'm glad. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you, Skip. Bye.
Wow, how good was that? When you don't know a profession, especially I don't have much knowledge about acting, you think a lot of things. It was a great way of me knowing Ranveer, knowing about his acting stuff, knowing him personally, and I completely enjoyed it. And now I'm left with a sense of sadness, because I just realized I wasn't thinking too much about it, that this was it. This was the last episode of series 11 on 10. A small idea which my friend Kunal and me came up. We work on it. I just wanted to call my friends Virat, Sanya, Ashwini, Danesh, Tharur sir, not my friend, but somebody who I wanted to call, and speak to them. But he gave an idea. Let's make it public. Let's do this thing, and it's his brainchild. But right now I feel a little bit sad, You know, I'm Vijay, of course, not to forget I'm the legend, how much I enjoyed that. But I feel sad that this is it. Now there's a little bit of uh, there's a chance that I might start training outside with the lockdown rules. So I'm going to go back to training, and in future, who knows? If you guys loved it, and in future, if we can take out some time, we'll do it because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I was a little bit skeptical when we started because me calling somebody on video chat and asking them question is one thing, but me coming publicly and asking them is a different thing. I hope all of you who tuned in not only today, but all the things, all the times enjoyed it. Special thank you to all of the guests that I had. They were amazing. To all the helps that I got from their friends, from their better house. It was amazing. It was amazing. It in this difficult time, I really had though 1.5, 2 hours of enjoyment. It took a lot for us to prepare. I didn't want it to sound stupid, so me and my team, thank you, team Akash, Kunal, my wife Sonam. We worked really hard on making this just so that people can enjoy. Mm, yeah, and now, as my wife said or tells me that she's bored of watching me on Instagram, and I'm sure a lot of people are bored of watching me on Instagram. I'll take a break. You guys enjoy. Be safe. जहाँ भी हो खुश रहो, healthy रहो, और yeah, who knows? Uh, we'll see you soon, or maybe sometime on 11 and 10. But for now, this is the end. I completely enjoyed it. Thank you so much, everyone.